Hey everybody, we're back together tomorrow at 9:30. Sure enjoyed last week as we were all together at one service, and I'm so looking forward to our time together tomorrow. We're going to be in 1 Samuel 17 with the great story, one of my all-time favorites, of David versus Goliath. And so be reading ahead, be checking it out for sure, and I wanted to just share a few thoughts with you from that story. Of course, we know this, and one of the things David did with that Philistine was this. He kept repeating this. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? He said that to his brothers and those who were around that first time he saw Goliath's challenge. He said it to King Saul when he was called before him. And even when he stood before Goliath, before they faced off, he said to him, "You come at me with your sword and your spear and your javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." Now, it's crazy to think about this because it's like, to me, what is the difference between Israel and Saul versus David, that David should say, who is this Philistine that he has defied the Lord? Meanwhile, Israel, Saul, the armies, they're hiding. They're in panic mode. They're full of fear. They're ready to flee from this. What was the difference between David and Israel? And the difference really for this story is their attitude regarding the presence of God. The presence of God. See, David believed this, that God was present with the people of Israel. For Saul, for the army of Israel, God was not present with them. He was just something, a God that they had served in their past, and they had wonderful historical stories about him. They had wonderful beliefs about what God would do in the future for Israel. But in terms of being present with them there, right in that moment, they didn't believe it. Yahweh was just a name to them. He was missing in action. He wasn't present with the people of God, with the armies of God. And David, this confounded David. This was crazy to him. He believed God was present with him and present with the people of God. And so when he saw the panic in the people of God, well, for him, that was confusing, that they would not recognize the presence of God. When he saw the defiance of Goliath, that made him angry because he recognized, hey man, we're the people of God and God is present with us. Who do you think you are to speak against the armies of the living God like this? See, David believed this, that God was alive, that God was with his people, that God was with him personally, that God was present with Israel, that God was present in his life. And, the shepherd's field taught him this. When you think about this, it's like all that time in solitude out there looking after his father's sheep, he learned this, that God was with him, that he could have a relationship with the Lord. He learned to commune with the Lord in solitude and in the quietness of the shepherd's field. And, this is what we need. This is what you need. This is what I need. To learn to have a relationship with the Lord and to know this, that God is present with us, that he lives inside of us, that wherever we go, we're there as his representatives, that wherever we go, the Lord is present because he lives in us. And that means this, that when God is present with us and he dwells with us, it means that we could face whatever giant comes our way, whatever Goliath comes, whatever circumstance, situation, thing that we face, the Lord is present with us. And that's what faith does for us. That's what the eyes of faith do. It says, hey, whatever I'm facing, I know this. God is present with me, not just in the past, not just in the future. He's here with me today. And so, hey, we're going to dive into the story of David versus Goliath tomorrow morning. Looking forward to seeing you at 9:30. God bless you. Have a great Saturday.